I'm Roberta Jasina. We're here at the Fisher Theater in Detroit to interview Richard Chamberlain, starring as King Arthur in Spamalot. How's the Detroit audience so far?
Well, last night, our first night, they were wonderful. They were terrific. It was a big house, and they're closer than in the last theater. They were rather farther away in the last theater. So it was a wonderful experience. Very warm, very friendly.
There are some Detroit jokes in the show, correct?
Yes. Our Matthew, who plays Lancelot, among other things, always has topical jokes that he puts in about whatever city we're in, and he's very funny.
What's your impression of Detroit so far?
Well, it's cold
Very.
and white, very snowy, and a very attractive city as far as I can tell. I've only been here for about 3 minutes, but I like Detroit.
Do you like the Fisher Theater?
The Fisher Theater is wonderful. It's a bit cramped. The stage is a little bit cramped for us, but the audience part is fine, and they're close, which is great. And the dressing room areas are fine. It's a wonderful kind of 50s decor. I know it was really 60s, but it reminds me of the 50s, which is kind of wonderfully retro.
You know, when I spoke to people that I was interviewing Richard Chamberlain, the first things every single person said were the Thorn Birds and Dr. Kildare. Mm-hmm. What was the best and the worst thing about playing Dr. Kildare?
Well, it was the best. Almost 99% of it was the best. It was one of the great breaks any actor ever had. I was an overnight sensation sort of in that show, and the whole show was. And Raymond Massey, working with him, was so wonderful. It did, by the fourth and fifth year, get a little boring from time to time because the shows, you know, say, how many times can you say, how do you feel? You know, are you feeling better? But it was a terrific experience. I can't think of any negatives, except by the end of it, I wanted to get out and do other things, and was very happy when it finished after 5 years. Happy for a while, and then of course I got terrified because as an actor, you never know if the phone's ever going to ring again.
But it sure has rung for you.
Yes, it has. Thank goodness. Knock on wood.
And the Thorn Birds. What are your thoughts about that?
It was a great story, and a wonderful, unbelievably wonderful cast with Gene Simmons and Barbara Stanwyck and those sensational people, and an immensely complex character to play, because he was torn not just in two ways, but in three ways. He loved Maggie, really, really. They were soulmates. And he loved God and his vows to God. And he loved the power and glamour of the church. There were three things pulling at him all the time through his whole life. Mm.
Is that your favorite role you've ever done, or what is your favorite role?
Favorite role? I don't know that I have a favorite role. Maybe Wallenberg. But I love this wacky King Arthur. I just love him. He's so crazed. I don't know that I have a favorite role. I think Shogun may be the best thing I've ever been in. I thought it was a brilliant, brilliant production.
Was it difficult to be in your role?
It was difficult in that my character had an awful lot of exposition. And exposition is when you're pretending to be talking to somebody, but you're really telling the audience the story. And that's the hardest stuff to play and make real. So I found it difficult in that sense. And the workload was difficult. But being in Japan for 6.5 months was sensational. We had a wonderful time in Japan.
What role do you still lust after?
I'd love to do more comedy. Comedy is easier, interestingly enough, in the theater than it is on film. On film, it becomes very technical because you're not playing to an audience. And so you have to know the tricks. And the people who are good at the tricks, for instance, the people on some of the sitcoms that I've done recently, are so good. They're so masterful. And without the audience input, you know, it's really a great skill.
What are the tricks?
Timing. It's timing and it's attitude, and it's more than timing. It's surprise. it's all kinds of, I don't know, I can't define the tricks, but when they work, they really work.
Do you have any regrets? Did you ever turn down something that you wish you hadn't? Or what are your regrets?
Yes, they asked me to do South Pacific about 5 years ago on tour, and I wish I'd done it. I can't even remember why I turned it down.
Who's your favorite actor?
Probably Anthony Hopkins, and you know who's also wonderful is I didn't expect this question. Is Gosling, Ryan Gosling. I think he's sensational. Well, there are a number.
You seem so happy. You radiate an inner joy. Really, I mean, is that real or is that an act?
No, it's real. It's real. It's come to me rather late in life.
Where does it come from? Where did you get it? Where can you buy it?
It comes from a lot of therapy. It comes from a long-term relationship, 32 years. It comes from being serious about how you're living life. I've always been serious about trying to figure out what I was missing and what would make a fuller life. And it turned out that love is really the answer. And I'm not talking about personal love, really. I'm talking about that other love that's kind of the essence of the universe, that you really can bring into your life.
I was reading online more about your book. I haven't read it, but I was reading about it. And it seems like, from what I've read, that you're a very spiritual person. Are you?
Well, for want of a better word, yes. I mean, that aspect of life really, really interests me. And it's really real. I'm not religious, but I have a sense of the presence of spirit very much in my life.
How long do you think you'll go on acting? Do you want to go on acting forever?
As long as I can walk, I guess, and talk. It's so fun. I live in Hawaii, so not acting is also wonderful. We have a wonderful life there. But I love working. I love the camaraderie of working, especially in the theater. But it happens in film also. It's such a group effort, and you're so dependent on the other person. As in this interview, we really are dependent, and we're on each other, and have to work together to make it work. And that's what I love about acting.
You turn 75 next month?
Next month, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, next month.
Yeah. You know, you have what people think of as being everything. You're incredibly handsome, incredibly successful. You live in Hawaii, and you're rich. I mean, it seems like you have it all. Do you have it all?
I'm not that rich. The other things are, yes. Nobody has it all. But I'm extremely interested in what life is and how to live it. And that keeps me in a state of, to some extent, wonder. And one is so affected now by how unbelievably vulnerable we all are. Oh, it almost brings tears in my eyes just to say that. We're so vulnerable, and we need each other so much, and we need to believe in each other so much, and we need to work together so much. It's what Obama talks about a lot. And if we don't do that, I think we're lost.
As I mentioned earlier, you know, you're turning 75 next month. Does growing older bother you? Does it weigh on you?
Yes, it drives me crazy. It's good in the sense that I find my heart is more active somehow. I don't know how to say that really. But the physical subtractions of age do get me down. I don't have as much energy as I used to have. I can't do a lot of the physical things I used to do. But on the other hand, there are compensations.
Do you ever regret writing your book and coming out at, what, age 69?
Oh, no, not at all. Oh, no. The book wasn't just about that. It was just actually mentioned in the book. But the freedom of realizing that being gay is a non-event. It almost means nothing. And being straight almost means nothing. Neither category tells you anything about the person. Are they good? Are they bad? Are they smart? Are they dumb? Are they funny? Are they sad? Are they kind? Are they cruel? It doesn't say anything about any of that, which is the important stuff. I think living open-heartedly, which is really in the presence of love, which is a very big deal. Love is a very big deal. It's not just flowers on Valentine's Day. The more you can invite that presence into your life, the more you can realize it's there anyway, the more you can deal with people and events from the intelligence of love, the better life works.
Is there anything else that you'd like to add?
I can't think of anything except that Spamalot is a sensational musical and everybody should come see it.
Thank you very much.